What's going on YouTube? This is Just My Opinion, and today I will be reviewing Drake's new playlist, More Life. Now, Drake is a rapper and R&B singer from Canada. Lil Wayne wound up signing him to Young Money back in 2009, the same year in which he broke out with his mixtape So Far Gone, which really fused together both hip-hop and R&B in a very creative way that nobody had really ever heard before, and he also tapped into a more emotional side of hip-hop. From the years 2010 to 2014, he put out 3 projects, which included Thank Me Later, his debut, my personal favorite of his, Take Care, and Nothing Was the Same. But ever since 2015, he's put out 4 projects. The first mixtape being, if you're reading this, It's Too Late, which dropped almost unexpectedly. He then put out a collab mixtape with Future, What a Time to Be Alive, that same year, which led into the album Views, which I will go ahead and say was probably my least favorite Drake project thus far. And based off of the promotional tracks, for this project here, I was not expecting to like this at all either. And to me, with the title of it being a playlist, I figured that this was probably going to be just an excuse for Drake to put out a bunch of songs that were kind of rushed out. So what did I think of this project? Well, to me, it feels kind of similar to Views, and if you're reading this, It's Too Late, where it does kind of feel rushed out, and it does kind of feel almost like B-sides from Views, but that doesn't mean there aren't some tracks on here that I really enjoy. For instance, take the opening track, Free Smoke. I actually really like this song. It's a standout track of mine. Production-wise, it feels similar to something that would be on What a Time to Be Alive, and he's actually rapping in the same flow in which he rapped on the song Grammys that was on Views last year. He's taking shots at Meek Mill, Jay-Z, Tory Lanez, Kid Cudi even. He's telling his come-up story in both a bold but yet confident way. But then from here we get into the song No Long Talk, which is probably one of my least favorite songs on the entire project. It's a grime track featuring Giggs, which is a UK rapper. The beat does hit heavy. It does have some really heavy 808s to it, but Drake is rapping in this UK accent now. Mix that with his Jamaican accent, it just does not mesh well. But then we get into my favorite song on the project, which is Passion Fruit. I wish that more of the project actually sounded like this. It has a sexy, mellow, tropical dance vibe to it, and it's all about a relationship. But I thought that this was very well written. It talks about the tension and distance between two lovers and how they're growing apart. He's trying to maintain a relationship, but he's sick of trying, and it kind of has a maturity to it in which I really, really like. It's very catchy, upbeat, and he's actually singing with some passion on this song, more passion than I think he's been singing with over the past couple of years. From here we get the Georgia Interlude, which is classic 40 production, classic Drake and 40 sound. You kind of have like a reverb singer sample in the background of the beat. The one thing I really actually enjoyed on this is it actually contains a sample of the harmonica solo that was on the song Doing It Wrong from Take Care. We then get It Together, which is actually basically a cover of a Black Coffee song, which basically has a dancehall Afro beat to it. He is no stranger to completely covering other songs, as we saw this on Take Care with his title track, Take Care, where he basically took a Jamie XX song and just put Rihanna on it, added some verses to it, and basically made it his own. The only difference between this and Take Care is that he added Georgia singing on it, which I thought she sounded absolutely beautiful singing, but there really wasn't much Drake on this song. Now from here we get Mabida Rhythm, which if I pronounce any of these songs wrong, I'm sorry, I'm not Jamaican. I don't have that accent. I can't do it. Neither can Drake, so I don't know why he does it either. This song again has another tropical dancehall type feel to it. It's probably my least favorite out of all of the dancehall tracks that are featured on this project. And then we get Blem, which is actually one of the standout tracks of mine on this album, one of the better Caribbean-inspired tracks on this album. It has some nice reverb tropical synths, and of course this is all about Drake trying to steal someone else's girl. Blem which is a slang term for being high. And he's basically saying how he feels to this girl and how he's trying to take her away from her man. Then we get 4422, which is another solid track on this album. It features some nice, dreamy, pretty production. This is basically a Sampha song on Drake's project, and this production actually fits Sampha's singing style really well. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Sampha, but I do really appreciate his singing voice. But of course, the only issue that I have with this song is that Drake is again nowhere to be found, almost like Get It Together. From here, it goes straight into Galchesta, which kind of has a similar feel to it to Hype or Pop Style from Views, but I think that this song is definitely better. It's produced better. I like the production better on it, and I also think he's lyrically better. This is of course a brag rap song. He does talk about in it briefly. He's definitely top 2, but he's not number 2. Very interesting to see who he might be considering as far as with him amongst the top 2. Could it be Kendrick? I don't know. Then we get the Skepta interlude, which is another UK grime track which features Skepta on it. And the beat hits really hard, but again, there is no Drake in sight. I mean, he's done this in the past on some of his previous projects, where on So Far Gone, he had Bria's interlude, which featured Omarion only. He featured Party Next Door on the interlude only on his project If You're Reading This Is Too Late, but I'm not sure what the point of having 3 songs on a project with 22 tracks and he's not even featured on it. I'm not sure what the point of it was. Then we get the song Portland, which has a nice trap beat to it with some nice flute samples in it. I gotta be honest, I think I mostly like this song for Travis Scott. Travis Scott to me was the standout part of this track. I thought that the production and the way that he was rapping on it and his just overall sound fit perfectly over this production. I thought that maybe the weakest part of the song actually might have been Drake. If not, then Quavo probably was. And then we get the song Sacrifices, which is another standout track of mine. This has another trap beat to it with some nice moody pianos. I thought Drake sounded great on this song, and I really liked the hook. It also featured my boy 2 Chainz! The surprise of the song probably was Young Thug, who was featured on it, the first of 2 features on this project for Young Thug, and it didn't even sound like Young Thug rapping on this song at first. I actually thought he sounded a lot like B.O.B. rapping. Then we get into a slower track on the album, Nothing's Into Somethings, which kind of reminded me production-wise almost of Star 67 on If You're Reading This It's Too Late. This, of course, is about Drake, who is upset with this chick about going and getting engaged on him. Classic Drake being upset about some chick. And then we get the song Teenage Fever, another standout track of mine, another slower song on the album. Now this song, of course, is about a relationship of his in which he feels like this girl is about to hurt him, so he goes and decides that he's going to make some bad decisions with another girl that he knows that he's going to regret later on. Now here's the controversial part of this song. We all know that him and J-Lo are dating, and he actually decided to use for the chorus the same chorus from J-Lo's If You Had My Love, which I actually thought fit well into the subject matter of the song, but a lot of people will say that this is cheesy, this is lazy, this is garbage. But what I say is this is Drake. Drake has done this on the past with a ton of other songs. On the song Practice from Take Care, he basically recited a bunch of Juvenile's lines from Back That Ass Up. He's done it on the past with Bitches Love Beyonce, where he took the chorus to Say My Name by Beyonce, threw it on there. And he's done this on the past as well with plenty of other songs, so this is nothing new for Drake. This is classic Drake. We then get KMT, which I think is the better of the 2 songs that features Gigs on it. I did like him better on this song. And I love the production on this song more than I did on No Long Talk. And I actually thought that Drake sounded well on this song with kind of his fake UK accent. A lot of people are saying that he stole Extension's flow from one of Extension's songs that has gotten really popular recently. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing his name right. Now, me personally, I don't give a shit if he took his flow. This is nothing new for Drake. Drake has basically jacked people's styles and sounds and flows for years now. So I'm not sure what the big fuss is over it this time around. Then we get the song Lose You, which is another great song to me from this album. This features classic Drake production on it. This is the type of Drake that I actually enjoy as far as Drake rapping. And subject wise, he's basically reflecting on his life. He's questioning some of the beefs he's gotten into in recent years. He's questioning whether or not his relationships have worsened because he's been working so hard. He comes across very humble but both bold at the same time. This is the type of Drake rapping, flow wise and theme wise, that I have come to know and love from Drake. From here we get Can't Have Everything, which feels very similar subject matter wise, but the beat is a little bit more up tempo, and I really like the production on this one. Now we get a nice skit at the end of this track actually from his mom, basically talking to him about how he's been paranoid over recent years. It fit nicely with all the themes that Drake's talking about. Then from here we get the song Glow, which is basically him and Kanye West going back and forth with each other on the track. And I'll just say the song is interesting. Kanye West, of course, singing on it. Of course, he doesn't have the best singing voice. He does throw a lot of passion out there. I don't really know, though, how I could say it goes over. And Drake as well on this. As far as production-wise and singing-wise, this actually kind of reminds me of something that would be on Thank Me Later, which I did enjoy the album, but I did think that at times Drake's singing and production sound was kind of undeveloped, and I get the same kind of vibe with this song. Then we get Since Way Back, which is basically another slower song with some trap influence in it. It basically just sounds like Drake decided that he was going to hop on a Party Next Door leftover song and put it on this project. I like Party Next Door on more of the Caribbean dancehall sounding tracks as opposed to the slower tracks. So this one didn't really go over as well for me. Then we get Fake Love. This is actually the only promotional track that was previously put out for this project that actually made it onto this project, thank God. This song I actually didn't really care for at all when I first heard it, but it did actually wind up growing on me. But to me, it basically sounds like he was trying to recreate Hotline Bling with this song, and also maybe trying to recreate Pick Up the Phone by Travis Scott and Young Thug. The beat and the way that he's rapping and singing on it really reminds me of Pick Up the Phone. And speaking of Young Thug, we actually get the second track featuring Young Thug on this project, which is Ice Melts, which again, I actually thought this went over very well. I'm not typically a Young Thug fan, but the way that he was singing on this song fit very, very well into the production, which had, again, a trap island type of feel to it. And the album closes with another standout track of mine on the album, which is Do Not Disturb. I thought the production on it was great. Another nice trap beat which features some reverb vocal samples in the background, nice and moody. Drake's flat out just spitting all over this one. So in conclusion, this playlist has actually grown on me, and I've actually really come to like this maybe more than I did Views. I think that the songs were definitely better, the lyrics is definitely better, the production's better. Everything about this I think is actually better considering it's a B-side project. But I do still think that it does have its flaws. Number one, it is definitely way too long. I think that the pacing of it could have been also a little bit better. Also not taking as many chances on this project as he has with previous projects. But perhaps the one thing about this that I will say that I really think is the biggest flaw is that this is the same old Drake. This is really nothing new for Drake. Overall, I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. I was going to give this a 6.5, but I'm giving this a 7 based off of the fact that I do think it will grow on me. Again, this is just my opinion. Thank you for watching.
You trust me.